I'm hoping I can keep my promise with this being one of the shortest book haul videos that I have done on the channel in some time in terms of things, because I didn't pick up in many books for this particular book haul, but it's definitely ones that I want to talk about for the month of December for 2024 as my last official book haul of 2024. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Hi everyone, my name is Rose, also known as TA Summers. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my December 2024 book haul. I'm not 100% sure of when this is going to go up on the channel. It's basically a bunch of videos that I am shooting like all in one go in terms of things, so you'll definitely tell by the makeup and also the shirt that I'm wearing in terms of things that I filmed these in straight succession. we're going to keep rolling with it. This particular video, as I mentioned in the intro, is basically my book haul for 2024. I didn't get much this past month. I would say that these are definitely books that I'm glad to have in my collection. Some of them I have already read. Some of them are new to my collection. And then some of them are ones that I have not touched in years and I wanted to revisit in terms of things. I'll talk about it a little bit more as we get to those. So it's a combination of recent book haul from two different ship trips, like recent books, and then also ones that definitely go a bit back because I got them from thrift store. So without further ado, let's go and begin. So the first books that I'm going to highlight in this video are ones that I picked up during a Books A Million trip when I was traveling with my sisters to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I was able to pick up some of these books in terms of things. So, and some of them I've already read, and then one of them is a new read for me. I don't think I've reviewed any of them on the channel. I'm hoping that I can have reviews up for these particular books and give you my thoughts on them. The first one that I want to highlight is one that I definitely recently read, and it's one of my final reads for the year of 2024. This is from Jason Reynolds with illustrations by Zeke Pena. This is Miles Morales Suspended, and as you can see, this is the beautiful cover of this. This particular book is chronicling a very specific adventure in the life of Miles Morales, who is also Spider-Man, as you may know. And essentially the plot of this, I'm not going to get into too much detail because I'd rather review this in its own separate video. But what this is particularly about is Miles ends up in a rather pickle in terms of things after being accused of stealing sausages allegedly. In terms of things, he says he didn't do it, but allegedly he stole some sausage and ended up in school suspension. And this details basically one harrowing day's events when he has to contend with an enemy he isn't expecting while he's serving in school suspension, and chronicling some of his hilarious and also harrowing experiences in that day. This is told in a combination of prose and poetry and mixed media, and I really appreciate the read of this in terms of things. As you can see, I'll show you an example of what that looks like. This is one of the pages in terms of things. You see a poem on one end and then you see the prose on the other, but there's also illustrations in this too. Here we go. Yeah, you can see Miles in terms of things. This is cool. So you can see the mixed media in it, and I thought this was a really cool way of being able to showcase Miles' story in terms of the Spider-Man lore, in terms of things. And I really think Jason Reynolds did a great job with this. So definitely like one of my favorite pickups of 2024, and I'll give a full review of this on the channel as soon as I possibly can. But I love this. I think I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I don't think I'll have a Goodreads review posted by the time this video goes up, but if I'm wrong, then I'll just post it in the description down below for y'all to read it. But I am planning on making a video review of this particular work. I loved it. I really did. Next one is another book that I really want to review for the channel, and it is out in paperback. This is The Getaway by Lamar Giles. This I definitely wanted to be able to highlight on the channel. I love this book as well. I have not given a formal review for it. This definitely is one of my favorite books in terms of things, because if you know how I feel about creepy theme parks, carnivals, things like that, that's the kind of thing that I eat up in any kind of like fiction, like in terms of things. And this is definitely one that I wanted to be able to highlight on the channel. I enjoyed it. I'll also highlight this in its own video on the channel when I get the opportunity to do so, but and it's also one that I really want to spotlight because I want to be able to talk about more of Lamar Giles's work and how influential he is in terms of his writing, like how his writing influences me. So like I definitely want to talk about this and give my thoughts on it. But I'm excited to be able to have it in my collection now and talk about it on the channel. And then this one is a book that I believe I've read several years back. It had a different cover. I don't remember enough of it to be able to confidently talk about it on the channel in terms of things. I'll put the original cover up for your reference here in terms of things. But this particular book is and its tagline is how far would you go to avenge your brother's death? This is The Shattering by Karen Healy. This is the cover up for your reference. I was able to pick this up as a discount. You can still see this discount sticker on it, but I knew I wanted to pick this up to be able to reread and give my thoughts about it on the channel. But I read this years ago, and I remember certain pieces of it, but it's still not fresh enough in my memory to be able to talk about it on the channel. But definitely, like, this will be read in the probably 2025 is probably when I'm going to end up reading this, but I want to give my thoughts about it on the channel. And this is also considered to be YA. Now, for the books that I was able to pick up for from different thrift stores, used bookstores, I have talked about Walter D. Myers on the channel before. This is a picture of Walter D. Myers up for your reference in terms of things. I have talked about how influential Walter D. Myers' work has been on me in multiple videos probably by this point in terms of things. I've talked about I was introduced to him as a kid between reading Scorpions, between reading Somewhere in the Darkness, works like that, and I'll put the respective titles and covers up for here for your reference in terms of referencing that. I did want to do a retrospective for the channel, but I have not had the opportunity to do so yet. But I knew that I wanted to pick up more of Walter D. Myers' books to add to my collection in terms of things. Some the titles have been out of print, so they're harder to find, but I knew that going through some of the thrift stores, they had some of the titles available for me, like in terms of things, and it was definitely a treasure trove of titles that I was able to pick up. So I'm going to talk about Walter D. Myers for the next, at least, I think 3 books. Yes, 3 books. So I was able to pick up 3 books by Walter D. Myers in terms of things. Some of them I have read, some of them I have not. But to talk about this first book, I had a thread on Bluesky where I was talking about searching out Walter D. Myers' work, and I came across a fantasy book that I had read many years ago that I had picked up from Scholastic that had influenced me in terms of my writing style, and one that I really loved at the time that I read it. I read it back when I was probably either 12 or 13 years old, but I remember seeing the cover and I'm like, I have not thought about this respective book in years, and I didn't even realize it was written by Walter D. Myers until I looked at it and realized, oh my god, wow. Like, and it definitely evoked feelings in me in terms of like thinking I have not thought about this particular book in a long time, and I am definitely reading it for the channel. This is Shadow of the Red Moon by Walter D. Myers. This is the cover up for your reference. This is a point fantasy book, and it was originally for Scholastic. The sticker is still on it. This was an old library book, I think, in terms of things, but I was able to get a copy of it secondhand from a thrift store. My original copy that I had ordered from Scholastic Book Fair, unfortunately, was so damaged I could not save it. And because it was in storage from my parents' house and it was water damaged and stuff like that, so I wanted to get another copy, so I was able to find it at a thrift store, and now I have it in my hands to be able to read and give my thoughts on and talk about how this book influenced me. So I'm definitely excited to dive back into this and give my thoughts on it for your reference, and just be able to talk about it with y'all. Another one that I don't believe I read this one. I don't remember reading it in terms of things. I remember seeing it at my local library and never picking it up in terms of things. And now I can say that I have it in my collection. This is also by Walter Dean Myers. This is also point fiction. This is The Legend of Tariq by Walter Dean Myers. As you can see, this is the cover up for your reference. And I am very glad to own this in my collection. It was very hard to find. It was very hard for me to find, but I'm glad that I have it in my collection. I can actually read it for the first time. I remember seeing this book so much in terms of things, and I don't know the reason why I never picked this up, but I am glad to be able to experience it for the first time and be able to give my thoughts about it for your reference in terms of doing a retrospective for Walter D. Myers' work in terms of things. So this will definitely be read. And then this is one that I didn't know existed in terms of things. Walter D. Myers wrote a memoir, and I think it's actually more recent. It's not that recent. It was, this particular cover version is 2001, 2002, but I think it's had reprints. But this is the version that was printed in 2001 and 2002. This is Bad Boy, a memoir by Walter D. Myers, and this is the cover up for your reference. And I was able to pick this up. I have never read this, and I did not know about it, and now I know about it, so I'm definitely going to read it. So it will be read and reviewed for the channel, and I'll give my thoughts about it as soon as I can pick it up. And then the last of the retro books that I was able to pick up from a thrift store, I have talked about also Walter Dean Myers in terms of the 18 Pine Street series, which is one that I read as a teenager in terms of things. So I grew up a lot with the 18 Pine Street books. It was created by Walter D. Myers. It was written by Stacy Johnson. So this particular series is one that I'm very familiar with. This particular book is not one that I have read though, and as part of that respective series, this is The Prince by Walter D. Myers and Stacy Johnson. So this is the cover up for your reference. I own several of the 18 Pine Street books. This is one that I'm going to add to my collection, and I've never read this before. It is new to me, and I'm definitely going to be able to read it and give my thoughts about it in terms of a fresh perspective of this respective series. But this respective series as a collective on whole has been very influential to me in terms of being able to as both a reader as well as a writer in terms of things. And I knew that I wanted to pick up this one because it was one of the few that I saw. I was like, oh, I don't have this in my collection. I have not read this series in a while. I definitely want to pick it up. So I'm excited to be able to own it and be able to get my thoughts about it. So yeah. And so that is it for my respective book haul for the month of December of 2024, my last book haul of the year. I hope you enjoyed it and be able to add some books to your TBR. I'm very much looking forward to revisiting some of these books and giving my thoughts about it on the channel. And even for the ones that I have already read and are more fresher in my memory, I'm excited to be able to potentially talk about that in future videos very, very soon in terms of things. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be informed of when I post new videos. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next video.